pretty daunting. I'm not going to lie. It was this extraordinary mixture when I got cast, this of great privilege and great trepidation, because if you're playing someone who is iconic and so everyone has a sense of who he is, and so you have to sort of in some ways perhaps meet or subvert those expectations, but also the biggest part of it is you know that he's going to see it, that Stephen, I knew he would see this film, and so the weight of that responsibility I think made me work harder. And when he saw the film and enjoyed it and said kind things, that for me was just the most wonderful thing.
Could you comment on the notion that as his body became incapacitated, his mind expanded?
Yeah, well, I mean, Stephen is so interesting about this. Even though he had this horrific disease and was given 2 years to live, age 21, he always finds the positive. So he would talk about the fact that he was lazy and complacent before the disease, and actually when he was given that ultimatum of 2 years, he knew he had a brain that was extraordinary, and he knew he needed to do something with that. So maybe that kick-started him or catalyzed him into that work, but also he talks about things like, for example, when he was unable to communicate so well, it meant that at Cambridge he didn't have to teach so much, so he had more time to do his own work, and how helpful that was, or the idea that because he was unable to write anymore, he created this new way of thinking, which he describes as visualizing. And so he'll always find the positive of what the disease was restricting him. He, as you say, was like pushing out onto new frontiers.
How could he have done this without Jane?
Oh God, I would never want to. It's not my place to talk on behalf of Stephen, but I think he describes how it was them getting married, getting engaged, when even after this horrific diagnosis, that just kick-started, pushed him into living life forward and fully and passionately. And there's no question in my mind that the support that she gave and the fact that she physically was his carer for so many years allowed him the freedom to go and do all those things that he's done.
You know, your performance in this movie has nominations written all over it. How do you feel about that? Are you ready for that?
Oh, do you know what? It's when we were cast, knowing that they were going to see the film felt like the greatest fear and expectation. And when they saw it and they enjoyed it, for Felicity and I, that was the greatest reward. Now, I care about this story. I think it's a really beautiful, inspiring human story. And if the buzz and kind things, if that hopefully brings attention to it and encourages people to go and see it, you know, of course, it's so flattering. And I hope it does encourage people to go check out the movie.